and welcome. This is the Money Show where your money gets smarter. We don't just track markets here, we decode them. We don't just discuss headlines, we explain how they impact your savings, your investments, and your financial future. Because whether you're earning your first salary or planning retirement, every financial decision matters. I am Kavita Thapalial, and this is your daily guide to making informed, confident money choices. Let's begin. Let's talk about AI. Hot topic globally and in India. With major IT companies going the AI way, artificial intelligence is actually getting into every domain of our lives. You know, it is helping you progress professionally. It's become your doctor, diagnosing diseases, has become your therapist, your legal guide as well, and now it wants to manage your money as well. But should an algorithm decide your retirement, your child's education fund, your first home purchase? Is robo-advisory the future of investing? Or are we overestimating what machines can do with something as personal as money? Today on The Money Show, we ask, can you trust AI with your wealth? And I'm joined by two industry experts who will decode every aspect of AI used for your financial planning, Adil Shetty and Pranjal Kamra. Welcome, guys. You know what's the funny thing over here about trusting artificial intelligence with your money? It's actually the fact that it's an artificial intelligence and not real. So before the discussion, you know, I might right away sound like someone who is sort of not trusting AI for my personal finance. But you know what? You guys are the experts over here to decode this for me and for my viewers. So Adil, let me just begin with you. Before we debate trust and the risk factors, let's understand the basics. We are talking about robo-advisory. We're also talking about using AI as financial planners or advisors. Adil, are these two separate things? And also, what problem, you know, are we seeing over there? What problem is this AI also trying to solve for us? How does an algorithm actually build someone's portfolio?
Right. So, Kavita, you know, if our therapist has become AI-driven, I think it's only a matter of time before our financial advisors also using AI. See, here's the problem they're looking to solve. So, you know, you need a financial advisor who'll understand your life stage. Are you trying to save for a daughter's education? Are you trying to save to buy a home? Basis what they understand about you, they'll design a portfolio that meets your requirement, and then they'll keep rebalancing it over time. Now, to do this, right, requires a lot of time, money, effort, where some private banker almost needs to sit with you. What AI is trying to do is it's trying to democratize this for the common person. So anyone with a phone, right, potentially can get access to an AI advisor who'll do the exact specialized work that otherwise was only available to a high net worth client. So that is the benefit and problem they're trying to solve. Now, the challenge to be aware of, right, is you have good fund managers, you have bad fund managers. You have people who listen to you and understand you. You'll have people who'll do what they want without caring about you. The AI algorithm, right, or the robo-advisor also needs oversight. It needs to explain what it's doing. It needs to suit your profile. So it's a powerful tool, but it does require you to apply yourself and make sure you use the right kind of tool that suits your profile.
So over here, Adil, you know, to be honest, this sounds like a very rule-based investing. Like in the past, we've, you know, we all have grown up using, okay, not you, Pranjal, but me and Adil, definitely. We all have grown up using calculators, okay? We have used Google. So Pranjal, rule-based investing, we understand where a lot of number crunching needs to be done, okay? But can this rule-based investing truly replace a thinking advisor? You've got to be compassionate. You've got to understand the person's life stage. You know, are we trying to oversimplify financial decision making over here?
Yes, I mean, you know, I'm very old school. I don't like stuffing AI where not needed. So medical, finance, legal, you know, a lot of countries actually have a lot of restrictions of how AI will reply in these particular fields, because even small decisions can have substantial long-term impact. Also, structurally, if we think how AI actually works, it's not actually intelligence, it's actually probabilistic word throwing. So basically how all LLMs work is that they have studied all over internet that what usually comes in a sentence after say if I'm trying to write you are a human. So if someone types you are a, because these models have scraped the entire internet, and they'll find probabilities that after you are a, what word should come. So they have actually turned intelligence into mathematical probability of which words should come next. So they are not actually thinking, they are just pulling out words from what they have learned from the internet. Now, knowing that this is how fundamentally how all LLMs work, will I be comfortable outsourcing my personal financial decisions to an AI? No. But, one big benefit of AI is that, a lot of people actually were not able to afford financial advisors because they were expensive, because human intelligence and one-to-one recommendations, they were expensive, unaffordable, which is why people took advice from influencers, from WhatsApp groups and whatnot. One thing that AI will do is that it will make back-end operations and research of investment advisors, research analysts, industry intermediaries more affordable and more efficient, which I hope in turn will lead to making their services more affordable and accessible to the vast majority of people, and indirectly solve the problem of financial advice not being accessible. So that's the advantage.
Right. So I think, Pranjal, on this panel, you are representing a Gen Z voice. So Adil, that is a new take coming in from Gen Z, who's also partly very a big fan of AI. So, coming back on the emotions topic, Adil, because I think that's very important, especially like, for example, look at the markets now. How can we really ignore the behavioral part of it? You're talking about the human fear and greed factor. Can a machine really manage that? Getting the number crunching is done. The low cost aspect I completely understand, but then this has to be deeper. It's personal finance that we are talking about. No?
So, Kavita, you asked a very deep question over there, but let me try and answer it.
Okay.
So, I think that when we're dealing with each other, right, let's say I'm dealing with you and you are investing your money, I think that emotional intelligence is very important because I need to understand what you're trying to communicate, because you might be saying something, but underneath what you're saying, right, there's a desire to make sure that that wedding goes well, or that desire to make sure that education is fully paid for in a great university. So emotional intelligence, working with a consumer, I agree, is important. But there's a lot of research also, right, which shows that, for example, Daniel Kahneman's Nobel Prize economics work shows that rule-based systems can do better, right, in situations where you need to keep emotion out of the market. Now, yes, there is, a lot of things, volatility in the market, but as a long-term investor, should you be selling because of that? Not necessarily, right? You might need to hold for a long-term benefit that comes from owning the Sensex fund or the Nifty fund. So I'd say that there are pros and cons to both. If you ask me which side of the spectrum I fall on, I'd say that if you're taking decisions about how to construct your portfolio using a bouquet of, let's say, mutual funds, if you're looking and working in an area where a lot of data is available, and if you're working with AI, which is built by a reputed institution, which has the oversight, which is making sure there's no bias in the model, who's making sure the model is updated and trained for situations as markets change, I would fall on the side, right, that an AI can give you high quality results because it is working through a rule-based system after understanding your requirements.
Model needs to be upgraded, and that upgradation needs to happen pretty often. But Pranjal, now understanding and taking a gist from what Adil just explained, Pranjal, we are aware panic selling really destroys a lot of wealth, okay? But if AI can prevent emotional mistakes, isn't that a big advantage over human-led decisions then?
Right. Theoretically, if that happens, I personally feel that, once basic roadmap onboarding is done, and an expert advisor rolls out the basic financial plan, then his or her major role is not advice going forward. It's actually hand holding and counseling during market volatility. So if market falls, a lot of people want to redeem, exit, and it's more of a counseling. It's more of a reminder of personal finance 101, that you need to stay calm. Here's the history, how it happens every 10 years, and times will change and things like that. So a lot of education and a lot of constant hand holding is actually the major part of financial advice. Now, I don't know what kind of relation people share with their AI, and if the AI can actually take up that counseling role. We read a lot about how AI actually, becoming a virtual partner, a virtual therapist, and all of that. But I don't know how good a virtual counselor can AI be, and whether AI can act. So while all rule based investing is fine, I'm sure AI will be, in fact, more unbiased in generally, because not driven by emotions, not driven by personal experiences. So rolling out of the plan, I agree, could be very good, but it's the hand holding part which I'm not confident about.
Adil, let's go back to the big claim, the low-cost claim and a wider access. Now, you earlier said that, AI platforms are democratizing quality advice for small investors. How does this low-cost advice sometimes mean low-context advice? Is that a possibility also? Can that happen, Adil?
Right, right. So, Kavita, you ask a good question. I think that AI and robo-advisors, if used well, are a tremendous benefit.
Right.
I'm not saying all of AI or all of robo-advisors without the oversight is good, but let's dive into your question, because I think it's a very powerful question. Now, let's say, like Pranjal said, I need to counsel you saying that don't sell just because the market went down over 2 days. This is about holding for 5 years. The Sensex always grows, 12 to 15% if you hold for 10 years, and so on and so forth. Now, for me to deliver this advice as a human, right, is fairly expensive. So first, I have to understand the topic. Then I either have to send you an email, or I have to call you, or I have to talk to you on a video call and explain this. What we're seeing at Bank Bazaar, right? And we have millions and millions of people, and we help them with credit score improvement. So it's not apple to apple in the sense I'm not advising you on how to invest, but I'm advising you on how to improve your credit score. Now with AI, right, we're able to customize that advice to your profile, understanding did your score go up or down last month, what are the products you have, what were you late on, and a customized advice in the form of an email, a video. And the next level, right, is you will be able to talk to someone, which is a voice AI, which will explain to you what you need to do. So I definitely agree that it needs to be customized to an individual. That's the power of AI, which algorithms didn't have. We're not doing A/B testing. Every video for every of the million people is different, right? But you clearly need to make sure that the governance and oversight is there so that the right information reaches the right person.
Pranjal, your take on this, the low-cost advice aspect?
No, definitely. I agree that it makes it more accessible. That's one advantage I told that I believe AI will bring. Whether it's direct customer facing AI platforms, or also advisors, because their backend operations, the number of people they need to hire, all the data crunching they need to do, they'll need to hire lesser people. So yes, one advantage is directly, indirectly, it'll make it more affordable. My one problem, another problem that I should have added is that while AI is great at personalizing, remembering your context, research has constantly shown that it's also very, very prone. Some models are very, very prone to actually roll out answers that will feel you more connected, and that will engage you more. So it disproportionately sends out affirmative affirmations. So for example, if you have a fight with your best friend and you ask the AI this, you send them the scenario and you ask, am I right? Some models specifically are highly prone to justify your actions because it wants you to feel that the AI is your best friend. and so that you talk to it more and it gets more of your data. So hallucinations, disproportionate affirmations, I'm worried. And because it's such a quick and newly evolved technology, I think guardrails around it are not properly built, especially in India. So once guardrails are there, I'll feel more comfortable.
No, this is a very important question. In fact, I was coming down to this. And Adil, let me just ask you. See, trust definitely comes from transparency. We also want to understand that, if algorithms are really explainable, because what's happening now, taking this point ahead, what Pranjal just mentioned, a huge risk of products being pitched, okay? For example, let's say the ads on social media, Adil, one click on maybe something like taking a holiday in London, and the next time you see your timeline is filled with London and UK specific content. This can also have in the investment scenario, we can see investment instruments that you've spoken about with the AI.
So firstly, I'm shocked that Pranjal is saying when my AI therapist says I'm right in an argument with my wife, that it's not actually true, that I need to rethink that the advice I'm getting is biased. But no, I get his point, right? I'll tell you what I agree with. So I wouldn't use any AI or anyone's advice in terms of investing in a particular stock, because I know a particular stock can be fairly volatile. I agree with your point that even if I'm listening to a robo-advisor, I'll see, is it a registered advisor with a SEBI license? Is it a company that I trust? And to your point, Kavita, I need an explanation where that robo-advisor says, hey, Adil, I've categorized you as someone who's a long-term saver, who's trying to save for their daughter's higher education. Hence, I have created a portfolio for you, which contains these kinds of safe assets. Because your horizon is 10 years, I've gone on the equity and less on debt. So that explainability is important. In fact, if you look at MIT's, the Ministry of Electronics and IT's 7 AI sutras, they're saying explainability is important, right? So as a consumer, I want to read what it's doing, and then I want to take comfort and continue. So this is a rapidly evolving field. I agree with all the concerns that Pranjal and you have laid on the table. I think that this is a powerful tool. Hopefully, right, our country will use it positively, and we'll benefit millions and millions of people who otherwise could not get this information.
Right. It's also the regulatory aspect that's on radar. Pranjal, the US regulator, have restricted LLMs from giving specific financial advices. How can India move in that direction, or are we already moving, Pranjal?
I think not yet in terms of strict regulations, but I think it's a matter of time. We'll eventually move towards what specific what specific advice LLM can give and what not. I think it's a matter of time. We'll also move in that direction.
But Adil, for an AI to work properly, the prompts are very important. Robo-advisory platforms are also under SEBI oversight now. If a model makes a wrong allocation and it scales across lakhs of users, who is accountable? How can you do the reporting then?
Yeah, you bring up an interesting point, right? I think that the principle that the regulators are using is, firstly, they're saying that existing laws will be upgraded. So if you look at MIT's AI sutras or RBI's free AI framework, they're saying we're not going to create brand new laws, but if there's an existing law, let's say on registered investment advisors, or there's an existing law on what a fund house can do, they're saying all the laws over time and very soon will get updated according to AI. Now, Kavita, I believe, right, this is an important question, and the liability will lie with the institution. So at the end of the day, I can't say that AI did it, right? AI is producing a certain output. It's been trained in a certain way. As the provider of that AI, I have oversight over the AI, and the liability belongs to the human who is managing, or it belongs to the institution which is managing it. I don't believe there's a way in which we can pass the liability to the AI. It comes into the organization.
Absolutely. But then the cost-effective point is very important, Pranjal. If AI can analyze financial statements, macro data, disclosures faster than any human, won't human advisors eventually depend on AI anyway? I mean, will that not be a very important update for you as a financial advisor and a distributor to finally just land upon it and use it?
Oh, absolutely. So as long as we are talking about focused single purpose AI functioning in and aiding me in my backend operations, making me more efficient, I think I think that's inevitable. That will happen. No two ways about it. But people using general purpose broad LLMs to take specific advice, I think that's the very risky. That's what I'm not in favor of. But regarding the low cost thing, there's one factor we also need to talk about, that we all know that these LLM producing companies, currently they are in the burn stage. They are burning billions of dollars of cash, if not trillions. And we have seen this VC playbook, that once the industry consolidate, matures, prices of the products, food delivery, cabs, hotels, they rise up substantially. Right now, not just financial advice backed by AI, but any interaction that we have with, say, ChatGPT, Gemini, is actually subsidized by VC money and private equity. So the answers that we are not getting it at its true cost. It's subsidized 90%, 99%. Once this funding dries out, and it will eventually, 2 years, 5 years, I don't know, but eventually it will. Then all the cost of these data centers, the water, electricity, a time will come when we'll have to pay the real cost of interacting with these LLMs. And then we'll have to decide how much efficient they are and what is the cost benefit analysis.
My time is really up, but I want to do this. Quick one-liners. The answer should be in yes or a no. Let's start with you, Pranjal. AI will outperform most human advisors in 10 years. Yes or no?
No.
Adil?
Yes.
Retail investors trust technology more than advisors. Pranjal?
No, I wouldn't defend that sentiment.
Okay,
That's
just
true.
agree or disagree. Agree or disagree?
Agreed.
Okay, Adil?
Agreed.
Okay. Financial literacy matters more than technology. True or false? Pranjal?
True.
Okay.
True.
Adil?
True.
Okay, last question. Would you personally let AI manage 100% of your wealth? Pranjal?
No.
Adil?
Yes.
Okay, last question to both of you. If I'm a 30-year-old salaried professional watching this show right now, should I choose a robo-platform, a human advisor, or a hybrid model? Out of the
Hybrid.
three, anyone? Pranjal?
Hybrid.
Okay,
Hybrid.
Adil?
A trusted robo-advisor.
Trusted robo-advisor. All right, that gets me to the end. So technology is transforming finance, but money is still emotional, personal, and deeply human. Maybe the future isn't AI versus advisors. Maybe it's AI plus advisors. So the question is not whether machines will manage money, but whether we will manage them wisely. On that note, gentlemen, thank you so much for participating and helping my viewers today. Have a great weekend ahead. And for our viewers, for everything personal finance, stay tuned to The Money Show. And this is Kavita Thapliyal signing off. Goodbye.